The first part of the crypto bull market was fun, but it's the next 3 legs of the bull market that are going to be the wildest rides of our lives. And as we get nearer the top, the volatility is going to get higher, and the temptations to make bad decisions will be at an all-time high. Sticking to our game plan may mean the difference between making life-changing returns and actually keeping them. So today, I'm going to share with you my one investment wisdom that is not only going to make sure that you make life-changing returns, but more importantly, make sure you keep them. I'm Crypto Man Run, and I come to you every day at 10 a.m. EST, and I bring you crypto love, and I bring you crypto wisdom, and sometimes, I also come to you at other times when it's not 10 a.m. EST. So, I don't know, did you guys catch our show earlier today? The Chart of the Day show. Did you guys watch that show? So, that's a good example of why you guys should be smashing the like, the subscribe, and the bell button. Because the backstory there is that our chartist, and I know you guys love the chartist, Sheldon. You guys saw him yesterday. You guys said he was fantastic. And I do think he's fantastic. In fact, one of you called him the crypto sniper. And I agree, because that's how accurate this guy is. He's so accurate that he phoned me in a flat panic this morning, and he said, listen, you need to get me on the show now. I'm like, Sheldon, there is no show now. He says, well, we need to make a show now, because I have calls, and these calls aren't going to wait. They're not going to wait until your show later. So we created a separate show for him called Chart of the Day, which is going to come to you at various times today. And he called a whole lot of charts, which he said were going to explode. One of them, for example, was Aeon. And I don't know if you guys have seen Aeon, but I want to show you this. He called it at about 27 cents. It's now at about 29 cents. I want to share my screen with you, and I actually want to show you what's going on there. It's at about 29 cents. And he said, this cannot wait. He also called Rev. And again, he said, let me actually look at what other charts he called. So he called Rev. Let's see what else he called. He called Rev. He called Aeon. He called Pundi X. And he said, look, these charts can't wait. So you need to get me on the show now. So we created the second show. And that's a good reason for you guys to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button, because otherwise you won't know when we're coming on. There's another unbelievable reason for you guys to hit the like, subscribe, and bell, and share, and comment. And that is because we are running the biggest crypto giveaway in the world. It's called the Banter Bags giveaway. And I know it doesn't look like much. I know it looks like it's $10,000 in Banter Bags. But don't be misled, because it's not about the $10,000. We have taken this $10,000 and we are investing it in pre-market allocations. You know those market allocations where you can't really get into them because you don't really have access? Sometimes we get access. And we've secured allocations of those bags for you guys. And we've put them in the Banter Bags. And these Banter Bags, when we get to 250,000 subscribers, which at this rate will be in less than 100 days, we're going to give away the bags to you guys, to the community. Yeah, you guys are going to get the bags. We're going to take the bags. I think they're going to be worth $2 million. And we're going to give it back to you guys in the community. We're going to choose 3 lucky winners, and we're going to give it away to those 3 lucky winners. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. Smash the like, smash the subscribe. If you've been with us for a while, just make sure that your bell button is on. And let's get on with today's show. Massive show for us today. Fred's telling me we've got a new guest. So yes, we have a new guest with his own calls. So we've got to be here for that. His name is Dale. His Twitter handle is Feeling Fluffy. This guy has a lot of great calls. Maybe he's as good as Sheldon. Let's see what happens there. Let's see what else we have. What else do we have? Fred, what else do we have? Ooh, we have Unmarshal coming on today. So Unmarshal, remember, this is a big project. I think that this project is kind of like a graph competitor. And today we'll talk about what they're about. And we've also secured $1,000 worth of Unmarshal, which we've put into the Banter Bags. Then, what else do we have? We have 2 amazing projects that we have spoken to you guys about. And those projects are where I'm going to share my wisdom with you guys. And after that, we're going to be talking about these lending wars that are going on. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I made a very bold prediction about what's going to happen to the lending market now that the Grayscale premium is going to go away. And what I said happened exactly as I said it. And today we're going to be talking about that. And not only that, we're going to get Alex Mashinsky on the show with us. And he's also going to give us a whole lot of wisdoms. So Massive, massive, massive show. I can see you guys, but what I can't see is I can't see the likes. I can't see the likes. Let me check how many likes we got. So we got 1,500 of you watching, and we have 715 likes, which kind of means that the other 780 of you don't like what we're doing, or something like that. So let's get on with the show. Come on, guys. Let's have some fun. Let's get on with the show. Guys, did you see Elon Musk come to the rescue again? Even today, in the Bitcoin futures closeout week, Elon Musk, the savior, came to our rescue. Did you guys see that Elon's tweet? Elon's pulling like this Michael 2.0, Michael Saylor 2.0. He's like all in on Bitcoin. And we know what happens. You buy into Bitcoin, and then you think you're just hedging your balance sheet. But what actually happens is you become obsessed because the price goes up, because your shareholders start to thank you for what you're doing, and to praise you for the decisions that you're making. Elon Musk is in that phase where he's going all in. So the first thing that he did was he said, you can now buy Teslas with Bitcoin. That's a long awaited announcement. And if you go onto their site today, Fred, let's just quickly go on to that site. Look what you can do. You can actually order and pay for your Tesla car using Bitcoin. What an amazing time to be alive. The bigger part of the announcement is that what he said is that they're not planning on selling the Bitcoin. He says Tesla is using only internal and open source software and operates Bitcoin nodes directly. Bitcoin paid to Tesla will be retained as Bitcoin, not converted to fiat. So if you read between the lines there, number one, you can see that he's all in on Bitcoin. Number two, you can see that his strategy is to be an efficient energy company. How do you create Bitcoin? With energy. What better way to create Bitcoin than with efficient energy? So I think that Elon Musk is actually starting to become, or is going to become, one of the most instrumental people in the Bitcoin ecosystem, because when he gets his energy efficiency right, then he can become the biggest crypto miner. In fact, he can enable crypto miners, because if you think of what crypto mining actually is, it's actually just transforming energy through a process called mining, through a process called proof of work, which is a high electricity consumption process, and turning it into currency or into value. That's really what Bitcoin mining is. So the signs are on the wall that Elon Musk is going all in. And the other play here is that if they say that they're not selling their Bitcoin, which is exactly what they're actually saying, if they're not selling their Bitcoin, then what that means is that if you take your Bitcoin and you buy a Tesla, then not only do you get to drive a Tesla, but you also kind of push the price of Bitcoin up, because you know that those Bitcoin are going to be locked up because he's saying that they're not selling them. And what I think is going to happen next for Tesla is I think they're going to take Bitcoin as collateral for cars. So you're going to leave them your Bitcoin as collateral. You're going to borrow against that collateral to get a car, and basically use your Bitcoin as collateral on lending to get to be able to buy Tesla. That's what I think happens next, because Elon Musk is all in. Not only Elon Musk, it's actually his wife as well. I think her name is, Fred, what's her name? Grimes. She's also all in, but she's all in on Ethereum because she's an NFT artist. And so you can see like the Musk family, the richest family in the world, is all in on crypto, all in on Bitcoin. And he came to our rescue again today. When the price was going down, Elon came back and basically he turned the whole price around. We are back in positive territory, even though this is a futures closeout week. So Elon, thank you. Thank you for what we call doing a Michael Saylor 2.0. Like we said, you are the savior. Fred, what do you think we should do next? Go into like wisdoms, or should we go into calls? What do you say? Calls first? What do the community say? What do you guys want? Do you want calls? Do you want wisdoms? Do you want calls? Do you want us to give away some Coty? Ooh, I've got a good one. Fred, let's give away your NFT. What do you say? Can we give away Fred NFTs? All right, best comment gets a Fred NFT. The NFTs are ready. The Fred NFTs are ready, guys. They are beautiful. They are awesome. Fred, can you upload the NFT? Can you show us what the NFT looks like? Fred's going to call up that NFT. Guys, the NFTs are amazing. I mean, I kind of want one. Fred, what do I have to do to get a Fred NFT? Like, share, and comment. All right, let me quickly like the video. 1 second. Okay, so I've liked it, and now I'm going to quickly write here and say, I want a Fred NFT now. And I've commented. You see my comment in the stream. This Crypto Man Run commented, Crypto Banter, I want a Fred NFT now. All right, do you guys want a Fred NFT? Fred, Douglas James, who says Fred for president, has won himself a Fred NFT, right? All right, Douglas James. How many can I give away, Fred? All right, we're going to give away 3. Douglas James, Fred for president. Dimi, you get yourself a Fred NFT, and we're going to carry on with the Fred NFTs in just a second. Guys, what do you want? Do you want calls, or do you want to go into the main wisdoms of the day? What do you think? Oh, look at that. All right, let's go into calls. And with me, I've got Dale. Dale, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Rand. How you doing, bro?
Good, thank you. So we found you on Twitter. You've got some incredible calls. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in the space, why we should trust your calls.
Firstly, don't trust anyone. Don't trust me. Don't trust anyone. Basically, I've been in the space since 2015, Rand. I was basically pushed into the space by friends that had been in for a few years. And they said, you just got to get hold of this. It's just going to blow up. And, it was pretty simple. I got into it. And like you said earlier, it's like a drug, man. It just gets into your veins and you just can't stop. So that's how I got into it.
Once you're in, you're all in, All right, Absolutely. Let's talk about your calls. First of all, do you make your calls through charts, or what's the basis for your calls?
Okay, look, the main thing that I focus on is FA. I do charts. I would say 95% of what I do is FA. I get in communities, I get down and dirty, I look at tokenomics, I look at, the whole spectrum of things. I've got like a checklist of 100 points that I go through one by one. One of those is also trying to interact with the teams and get involved, try and understand what they're about. I want people that are going to be sincere. I want people that I'm backing a horse. I want that horse to be great. So I want to know everything about that horse. I want to know what it eats. I want to know how it's trained. I want to know if it's, organic or not organic. So yeah, I've got a really heavy FA slant, but the final thing is always TA. So I'm always going to check the TA and go, okay, this is perfect. My crew know on the channel that I'll hold back calls 3 or 4 days until I get that dip. I want that dip. I don't want to be, scooting into something that's going to explode or downwards. I want something that's going to explode upwards.
Okay. So let's look at some of your calls. And just before we go into your calls, guys, I don't know if you watched the video earlier with Sheldon where he called Rev. He called Rev at about, I think it was about 45 cents. Rev's had the breakout that he told us it would have. It's now trading at 50.2 cents. And I think it's got a long way up to go. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. Dale, let's look at your calls. So what are we looking at?
Sure. So I've got 3 calls for you guys today. The first one, let me just pull it up. I'm going to share my screen here.
Amazing. Guys, while he's sharing his screen, smash that like. I still see that there are more of you than there are likes. There's 1,200 likes and 2,000 people watching. Smash those likes, guys. They enter you into the Banter Bags competition. So it's like the easiest way to win what I think is going to be a $2 million prize.
Okay.
Subscribe, share.
So Rand, I've got a bit of a problem with the share here. So I'm just going to talk you through. Oh, hold on a second.
Try, just share the screen. We have time, man.
There we go. Okay, cool. Okay.
Alrighty, just.
Browser can't access your screen. Try capturing a different screen. Okay. Sorry, guys, for this commercial break. But all right, do you want? I'll just talk you guys through it, right? So listen, the first call is a cracking call. It's something, most of the calls that I make, Rand, they're actually things that I've been following for sometimes years, okay? This particular token is something I've been on for about 2.5 years. It started off as something that you would think, oh my God, this is scary. The call is actually Zenon. What it is it was just a brilliantly written yellow paper, right? They basically had this draft white paper and they said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We want to entrust you guys. If you believe in what we're doing, send us a Bitcoin. And then, over the course of 3 months, whatever, we're going to return that Bitcoin to you. They did it. So there's ticking boxes all along the way. But what's brilliant about Zenon is that You know, this coin, when I first started tracking, was about $1.25, $1.35. Today, it's up to about $18, $19. It's actually hit $25 recently. It's in a perfect position right now for me. The actual chart for me is almost at the tipping point where it's about to explode. And I think that, you know, I'm a great believer that TA first, news later. But we do know that Zenon is about to be launched. So it's been 3 years, 3 hard years of labor on Zenon. Let me just explain to you what they do. And this is the thing that really knocks me out. You know, if someone said to you, you know, like, let's say, you know, when ETH was basically being launched, you know, ICO, and said, listen, you can go back in time and you can actually invest into ETH and, you know, go buy. You know, basically, there's nothing like Zenon in terms of tech, and it's basically going to launch with.
What does it do? What does this protocol actually do?
Okay, so, all right, so great question. So what is it? Okay, Zenon is basically an incredibly fast, almost infinitely scalable state-of-the-art DLT. It combines block lattice architecture to handle transactions with a DAG that exists as a separate layer for consensus. It's going to be used to scale Web3 dApps as a layer 1 and process transactions as a layer 2 chain. Now, it's basically trustless, large-scale computing. Number 2, it's decentralized data, solutions using cryptographic mechanisms and oracles that are actually built in at the protocol level. Now, this is crazy, Ran. You know, we look at oracles and we say that, you know, Band or, you know, the Link guys, and we all say, look, you know, these were necessary, they're needed, they're irreplaceable. Guess what? These guys have actually built in the Oracle at protocol level. It's part of actually their whole system. So they don't need bands. They don't need, you know, any other Oracle to help it. It's also a DAO and DAC that shifts old ad-centric business models to micro payments and also privacy. I mean, huge pluses for me. It's independent, open source project, and it'll be run by a foundation very similar to Ethereum.
Okay, so, I mean, it sounds interesting. Is there any adoption of this protocol? I see the market cap is about $115 million, which is a low market cap for something like this. It's almost fully diluted. It's about 3/4 diluted.
Yes.
Question is there, I think your camera's frozen. Guys, are you seeing the camera? I mean, okay, so the camera's, okay, great. Okay, so is there any adoption of this protocol?
Okay, Ran, this is the interesting thing. Basically, there is no GitHub. Normally, I would check GitHub and I would find out, you know, what the coding is. There's no coding. There's no way to prove what's been going except for track record. So there has been test nets. There's been private test nets. People that I know have actually been on there. They've seen the transaction speed. They've seen what the protocol can do. They're blown away. This is not even launched yet. That's the most incredible part of this this coin. Yeah.
Del, your camera is frozen. I wonder if you want to just switch your camera off and switch your camera on and see if we can get see if we can get your face on again. It just makes it a whole lot easier.
Absolutely. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys.
I haven't seen this protocol, and I'm going to definitely do some research. You say it's been around for a while. I'll definitely do some research. Let's see if we can get.
Yeah.
Let's try to get your camera back.
Should I like log out and log in, because this camera's not coming back on? Yeah.
Cool. You can log out and log in. Yeah. Let's log out and log in, and we'll get you back in the video in just a second.
Okay.
Wow. I'm looking at Sheldon's calls. Yeah, the guy was spot on. I mean, he was spot on. His Aeon call is good. His yeah, most of his calls are spot on. I'm also frozen. My laptop. Can you guys hear me? Okay, so it looks like my camera is frozen. I wonder if my camera is going to get back. We're also trying to get Dale back. Let's see what happens over there. I'm going to try and switch off my browser and see if that works. Wow, okay. Looks like we had some ghosts and skeletons, but it does sound like I'm back. It does look like I'm back. It does look like I'm back. Okay, let me see if I can get my other remove. Okay, I'm back. Can you guys hear me? Fred, can you guys hear me? Alrighty, we're back. Let's see if we can get Dale back as well. So, Dale, you're back.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Sorry about that. All right, so we like Zenon.
Yes, absolutely. So let me just give you a couple more things on Zenon. Geez, I got a massive echo.
I think we're going to do some research on Zenon, just in the interest of time.
She's got some technical problems here.
Okay, there. How's that?
Yeah, that's better. Okay, Ran, basically with such a small universe of tokens on Zenon, I had prepared up a market cap comparison, and I'm going to read it out because people will get where I'm at with this. At the moment, market cap, as you said, it's about 114, 115. Price around $18, $19. Now, I see this going up between 1.6 to 3.2 billion, which would bring it into the top 100. BAT is at 64 on CMC. NEO is at 36 at 3.2 billion. The price of Zenon then, given the token universe, would be $640. I mean, this is mind blowing. And I see this happening very fast. This could happen this year. Now, moving along long term, I see this thing getting right up into the top 10. So you're talking about a $51 billion to $100 billion token. Now, that would put the price at $10,000 to $20,000 a token.
Del, those are bold statements. And I mean, I get it.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of problems. We've got to see network effects. We've got to see adoption of this protocol. Otherwise, it's just a protocol for me, right?
Absolutely. Totally agree. Well, you know what? We're going to soon find out, because when this goes live, there's going to be massive partnerships announced. You're going to see this thing explode. That's my bet. Let's see what happens.
All right, Del, next call. We've got time for one more call because of all the technical issues. What else are you looking at?
Okay, let me skip to OVR. So basically, OVR NFT space, it's in augmented reality. To me, this chart, and once again, I apologize, I can't even pull up the chart, but the chart is going to explode. It's just on a trajectory, a 45-degree angle. Volume is just swooping in. I see this at the moment. The market cap is probably around, let me see, 35, 35, yeah, 30. What have you got there?
Is it OVR?
OVR, yes.
The OVR is 65.
65 now. Okay, great. So 65, trading volume is a whopping 28 million. So, it's basically half the market cap in the last 24 hours. This thing's building steam and it's going to blow up. I guarantee you this. This is one of my favorite calls, and it's something I've been tracking for about 3 weeks. And I've been watching it go up and up and up, waiting for it to duck. It's not ducking. I see the demand going. And I feel as though this will be a 300 to 400 million market cap in the very near future. And that's without...
Look at that chart. Look at that chart. That chart is, for me, the definition of parabolic. And that's pretty much the story of all NFTs. They're all pretty much parabolic at the moment.
Absolutely. Now, here's something interesting, Ran. This really excited me. There's a company called IDC that does, studies and so forth. They basically worked out that the augmented reality market will reach something like 11 billion next year. The year after, 137 billion. Now, we're talking about this being a market cap of 300 to 400 million. Now, let's just think about that. People may look at me and say, this is crazy. Well, people would say 300 to 400 million is crazy, but just wait. 2 years from now, AR takes off. We start eating into that market cap. These guys are set up on the blockchain, beautifully run business. It's going to go bang.
All right, well, let's watch that. Del, we're going to have to let you go because of all these technical issues. Love to get you on again. Love to follow your calls. We've got 2 calls from you. Fred, update those calls. Let's see how they go.
All right, guys. Cheers, man.
Great. Thank you, Del. I feel all of you guys are going crazy for the Fred NFTs. So good to see. All right. Remember a while back, I said to you that there was a fundamental shift in the structure of the blockchain market. And I made a bold call at the time. I said that I'm worried for BlockFi because BlockFi's business model wasn't a sustainable business model for me. You remember that? Fred, do you have, I know Fred's got the video because Fred loves these things. So Fred, show that video of what I said. Only are they making 10% on the interest that Fred has to pay them because he's borrowing US dollars. But they are also making the 40% premium that they're selling onto the retail investors. But my friends, the market has finally turned and there's no more Grayscale premium. So now the question is, what are BlockFi going to do with those Bitcoin? Surely some people are going to lend them, but they're going to have a whole surplus of Bitcoin, which they used to put into the Grayscale Trust and dump on retail investors and make the 40%. But now there's no more premium. Fred, call up that premium chart. There's no more premium. In fact, for the last batch that BlockFi did, they're going to lose money. Fred, when was that? That was about 2 weeks ago. Fred says it was about 2 weeks ago. Fred's got a memory like my wife, so he remembers everything. So 2 weeks ago, I said to you guys, I don't know if you remember, but there were 18,000 Bitcoin that were moved. And when the move happened, they really scared the move really scared the market. They moved onto Gemini Exchange. And everybody got nervous that there was a big move of Bitcoin. We did some digging at the time. I don't know if you remember. We found out that the move happened because 18,000 Bitcoin went from BlockFi to Gemini. And at the time, there was a lot of speculation by many of the other channels, which speculated as to why these 18,000 Bitcoin were moving. And I think we hit the nail on the head. I, at the time, told you guys that I was skeptical about Grayscale's business, about BlockFi's business model. Because what they were doing is they were taking money. They were taking money from, they were taking Bitcoin from people and loaning them money against it. Fred, do you have that slide by any chance? So remember, we used this example and we said that Fred gives BlockFi his Bitcoin. They then loan Fred some money against his Bitcoin at a certain interest rate. What they then used to do was take that Bitcoin and deposit that Bitcoin in the Grayscale Trust, get the shares, and dump the shares at a 40% premium on the retail investor. And they used to rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. And at the time, I said to you that the market is going to change because you can't keep dumping on the retail investor. The retail investor is no longer the fool. And if we look at what's going on now, it's exactly what I predicted. Let's look at what the Grayscale premium is. What is the Grayscale premium today? The Grayscale premium today is negative 10%, which means that you can actually buy Bitcoin. By buying shares in the Grayscale Trust, you can actually buy your Bitcoin at a 10% discount. And we spoke about that in one of our other shows. But worse than that, BlockFi have got nothing to do with their Bitcoin. What are they going to do with them? Because they used to take all these Bitcoin and they used to deposit in the Grayscale Trust and then get the shares in the Grayscale Trust and dump them on the retail investors. But now they can't do that anymore. So what did they do? They made an announcement this morning. And the announcement basically says, effective 1 April 2021, our Bitcoin and ETH rates, not only are the tiers changing, but the rates are shifting. Why are the rates shifting? They're not shifting up, let me guarantee you. They're shifting down because their whole arbitrage of taking your Bitcoin, giving it to the Grayscale Trust, and then dumping on the retail investor at a 40% premium is finished. And so now they publish new rates. Fred, do we have the rates? Let's look at the rates. So the rates clearly going down. So you used to get 2%. On ETH, you used to get 5.25%. Now, if you deposit more than 100 ETH, you get 2%. And if you deposit more than 1,000 ETH, you get 0.5%. And so on and so forth. What they're basically saying is, we kind of don't have as much demand as there is supply. So we're going to disincentivize you from depositing money into this. On the other hand, I don't know if you guys saw, but Celsius published a little tweet with their response to it. I think their response to it was absolutely genius. It says, unlike our competitors, we don't block you from financial freedom. Download Celsius today and get the highest rewards all the time. Unbank yourself. So when this happens, you know what we do when this happens? When this happens, we bring in our friend, Alex Mashinsky. Alex, how are you, my friend?
Great, great. Thanks for having me back.
Alex, have you reduced the Celsius rates?
No, we kept the rate the same. So now if you have more than one Bitcoin or more than 200 ETH, you can earn twice as much as BlockFi pays you, twice as much. So what I think BlockFi got is what's called indigestion, because they thought that copying Celsius by just publishing high rates means that you have a business, but really you need to have a sustainable, like you said, Ron, sustainable business where you can deploy and earn yield. Celsius has paid over $300 million to our community. So talking about all these, your previous speaker was talking about all these projects and all these great things that are happening. All those companies are promising to do things for you. They haven't done anything yet. They're all selling vaporware, hoping that one day they will have a business. Celsius has paid $300 million. That's more than all of our competitors put together.
Okay, hold on. Why has BlockFi reduced their rates all of a sudden? Is it because all of a sudden they can't arbitrage into the Grayscale trust? Because I know that was one of the things that they were using their Bitcoin for.
Yeah, so it's several things. One is that basically it's not just that they can't deploy it anymore, like you said. That is a big piece of it. But what they already deployed, they have 2 billion deployed, which is now went from a positive 10% to a negative 10%, meaning they lost several $100 million there, right? That's an actual loss, because when that comes unlocked and they have to sell it, they're not going to even get back the money that their investors gave them. Forget about the interest that they had to pay. So instead of, basically they promised their investors 106%, right? 100, which is what 100%, which is the Bitcoin that was given to them, right? Let's say you gave BlockFi 100 Bitcoin. At the end of the year, you expect 106 Bitcoin. So if the GBTC is trading at a 10% discount, when they sell it, they're only going to have 90. So they're short 16 Bitcoin. So the only way to cure that is to lower rates dramatically and try to recover this over time. That's what they're trying to do.
Has this happened to Celsius? I mean, I'm sure that you guys also put money into GBTC, right?
Yeah, so we have very small deployment to GBTC, like our entire Bitcoin position on Grayscale is less than a fraction of 1%. So we don't have that problem, and we're not in a hurry to sell or liquidate or anything else. So we use GBTC as a way to borrow dollars, because GBTC is a security and we can deposit the security with an institution and borrow dollars against it. So it's just a cheap way for us to borrow capital. It's cheaper for us to borrow capital against GBTC than it is to basically try to get other type of loans.
Okay, but isn't this a fundamental change in the structure? And I'll tell you why I asked this. If you look at the GBTC, so Fred, just let's call up the Grayscale holdings for a second. The holdings in the Grayscale trust. Grayscale used to be the biggest buyer of Bitcoin, but not only were they the biggest buyer of Bitcoin, they were also the biggest holder of Bitcoin. And if you look at them in the last couple of days, I don't know, Fred, do we have that table?
Right, okay. So just to correct this, they didn't buy a single Bitcoin. They just took the Bitcoin that their community gave them and deposited in kind in Grayscale, right? So they didn't actually buy it. It's a misnomer. I saw it on CoinDesk and on all these Cointelegraph. They're all talking about all this Bitcoin that Grayscale is buying. That is not Bitcoin being bought. All the institution, Three Arrows and BlockFi and all the people who are listed as the largest holders of Grayscale, they borrow Bitcoin and they deposit it to get shares so they could do the trade that you just mentioned. So the amount of actual buying is actually very, very small compared to the $32 billion that Grayscale is holding. Like you said, most people were chasing that spread. Most institutions were chasing that spread, and the spread just disappeared. And now it's a perfect time for the retail guy to actually take advantage of all these institutions scrambling to get out of GBTC because they can buy it at a discount.
So today, if you bought the GBTC trust, effectively you're paying $50,000 or $50,000 for a Bitcoin today, even though the Bitcoin price is 56,000. If you buy GBTC, you're paying $50,000 for a Bitcoin. So guys, that's the trade of the day. Go and buy GBTC. Simple.
That's right. It's a simple trade. That's right. You buy it. If you're a hodler, you buy it and you wait for that spread to close. And on Wall Street, that is what big traders do, right? Meaning they're waiting for the price to go back to where it's supposed to be, which there should be zero discount or zero premium on the GBTC trade.
Yeah, 100%. Alex, is this a fundamental shift in the market? Like I call this a crypto lending implosion. Is this a fundamental shift in the market?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people that thought earning yield is easy are realizing that earning yield is hard. And the problem that BlockFi has is that they got bigger and bigger, right? Celsius is about $13 billion. I think BlockFi something like 10 billion. And they realize that deploying $10 billion is much, much harder than just sending those Bitcoins to Grayscale. And now they have to basically invent a whole new business, and because Celsius deploys to institution, to exchanges, to DeFi, to retail, and we do some to GBTC, but that's the smallest part of our business, where most of our competitors are scrambling to just run on one of those 5 different elements.
Amazing. Alex, that's all we have time for, my friend. Thank you so much. I love your wisdoms. You know, we're big fans of Celsius. We're big supporters here, man.
Thanks for having me back.
Thank you, my friend. So that's Alex Mashinsky, and telling it like it is. And it's exactly what I've been saying for a while. I love the Celsius business model. Why? Because they've given back to the community. Through their token, through higher rates, they give back to the community. They're all about community. That's why I love those guys. Anyway, let's get on with the show. For those of you who have been complaining about the gas fees, and specifically around the using of Uniswap, Uniswap made an amazing, huge announcement. In fact, they're fixing the gas leak that has been happening in Ethereum. Massive announcement yesterday from Uniswap, and that is that they're launching Uniswap, what they call Uniswap version 3 or Uniswap v3. That should come sometime in May. And if you're asking what this means for you guys, then it's huge. They made this like promotional video with the unicorn and rainbows, and it's really beautiful and touching to the soul and everything else. But let's talk about what this actually means. Uniswap are huge. They are by far the biggest decentralized exchange on the market. In fact, at one point, I think they were doing about 20% of all Ethereum transactions. 20% of all Ethereum transactions were done on Uniswap. And this is why Uniswap has been in one of our network effect gems. Because the announcement that they made shows how much momentum they've got and how important they are in the ecosystem. And I've said to you guys before that when you buy something that has the network effect, you don't need to worry about price fluctuations. Uniswap is definitely one of them. The announcement that they made was absolutely genius. If you read between the lines, and I think for those viewers who don't know, let's just recap. Uniswap is a decentralized exchange. They are the biggest decentralized exchange in the world by far. In fact, we have some numbers for you to show you the size of Uniswap. They do about 60% of all the decentralized exchange volume is done on Uniswap. And I think they did about 30 billion in transactions last month, which is about 15 times what any other DEX has done in transactions. So Uniswap are huge. What is the gist of the announcement that they made? So they said they're going to launch Uniswap version 3.0. And amongst the things in Uniswap 3.0 was a big thing around capital efficiency. This is the game changer. This is where it gets super interesting. What they said is that people who lock up money in liquidity. Now remember, we can all lock up money in liquidity and earn liquidity fees on providing that liquidity. But we have a risk. We have a risk that the prices move too much and then we suffer what's known as impermanent loss and we lose other money. So they made an announcement yesterday to launch Uniswap version 3. And part of launching Uniswap version 3 is allowing the user to concentrate their liquidity to a certain range in the chart. So instead of providing liquidity for a pair, say ETH against Vesper, you can choose to provide liquidity only at certain price ranges. Now, the genius behind this is that it becomes much more capital efficient. And that it means that you can have access to your capital for as long as the price is not in the range where you are providing the liquidity. And so it creates amazing, amazing, amazing capital efficiency. In fact, they said up to 4,000% more capital efficiency. That is absolutely, absolutely huge. They also said that they're going to start doing rollups. Rollups means effectively that they're going to run side chains to do transactions, which means that you're not going to be paying so many high fees. The last part of the announcement was they said that they've got a war chest of, get this, at the current price, they have a war chest of $20 billion to invest in the ecosystem. At the current price. If the current price holds, Uniswap has $20 billion to invest in the ecosystem. So why am I telling you all of this? This is a game-changing announcement. Absolutely game-changing announcement. But for us, it cements one of the things that we've been saying for a long time. And that is that you've got to buy the network effect gems. Uniswap has the network effect. It cannot be stopped. Every user that uses Uniswap adds more value to the network. Uniswap cannot be stopped. That's why we've put it on our network effect gems. I don't know if, Fred, do we have the network effect gems, the ones that we've called? All right, we'll call them up for you guys later. Imagine not investing in this DEX and knowing that they've got a war chest of $20 billion that they're going to invest in the ecosystem if the current price holds. We've already seen what's happened to the Uniswap price. And the Uniswap price is going to continue to grow parabolic. I mean, this thing, we called it about $3, and you can see where it is today. So for me, if you're not holding Uniswap as part of a long-term portfolio, you're making a massive, massive, massive mistake. Because this is the one with the network effect. It's not going to be stopped. Not only is it not going to be stopped, but no one else can compete with them. And just to make sure that no one else can compete with them, what they did yesterday was a little bit not in the spirit of open source software. They created a software license that protects their IP and kind of makes it not so open source. I mean, I don't know if you can blame them, because if you look at SushiSwap and then SashiMiSwap, those are just like really forks or using the Uniswap code. And now people won't actually be able to do that. So for me, they've now blocked the competitors. They've got a $20 billion war chest if the price holds. They've got the network effect. They're launching version 3, which makes them huge in terms of capital efficiency. This whole game is actually about capital efficiency. For me, you have to have Uniswap in your portfolio. You just have to have this DEX in your portfolio. Another one that you have to have in your portfolio, because it's getting the network effect. Don't say I didn't tell you this, guys, is Vesper. I don't know if you remember, but I said to you guys, Vesper, buy Vesper, buy Vesper. This is a protocol that is 6 weeks old. And in 6 weeks, they've locked up $1 billion in total value locked in 6 weeks. Fred, do you remember that video where I called it? Play that video. I want the guys to hear what I said about this token. I'm going to make a call. I'm going to go for Vesper Finance. It's one that I researched, and I did a research report and I posted on the show. They have more total value locked today than Wi-Fi. And the market cap, if I'm looking on my phone, $31 million market cap. It's a DeFi protocol. For me, DeFi protocol, $30 million market cap, huge total value locked, fast growth, great team behind it. For me, safe bet, even if the market goes down, I think it's probably a safe bet. I have called it before, and I think I'm going to stick to my call. All right, so that was when I called it. That was at $22 when I called it. Today, Vesper, $66. Why? Because they're getting the network effect. How do I know this? Look at this. This is a DeFi. This is from DeFi Llama, and DeFi Llama shows you the total value locked by rankings. And you can see that Vesper has over 1.16 billion locked. And this is just in 6 weeks. So really, really, really getting the network effect. So the next question is Vesper still a buy? Even though 6 weeks later, it's tripled in price. So for that, we need data. To make a decision like that as to whether it's worth buying now, we actually need data. And so I got Fred to make a table for us, to make it easy for us. These are the biggest DeFi protocols. This is how much money they've got in total value locked, and total value locked is probably the best measure we have in terms of how big the protocol is. It's not exactly. It's not perfect, but it's very, very close. And if you look at Vesper, Vesper has 1 billion total value locked, which is higher than any of those. Look at the market cap of Vesper, $135 million. Compared to Yearn Finance, 1.2 billion. Alpha, 534. Badger, 320. So even if it just gets to Badger DAO's level, you're talking about a 3x from here. Okay, so some of you may be looking at this and going, okay, but you can't compare fully diluted market caps to current market caps, or look at it on a fully diluted market cap basis. In other words, when all the tokens are out in the market. And even then, today, Vesper has the most money locked in its protocol, and it has the lowest market cap. And this is a 6-week-old protocol. So you ask me, it's kind of like a no-brainer, like absolute no-brainer. Buy Vesper. I'm buying more Vesper. I was involved in the pre-sale. I'm going to keep buying it and keep buying it and keep buying it. I called it for you guys at $22, and I'm calling it for you guys again. I'm saying to you guys, buy Vesper. I think it's amazing. This is not financial advice. In fact, Fred's saying maybe it is financial advice. Okay, well, maybe it's financial advice. Maybe it's not. That's not financial advice. Everything here is for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the guest and host, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm telling you also that you should be looking at this next project that I'm going to showcase. Because I think there are about, say, 5 projects that I've spoken to this year that have gotten me really excited. One of them was Split. You know that I've got a love affair with Split. There's 1 or 2 others. And then I came across the team at Unmarshal. And, you know, you walk in there and you're kind of skeptical in the beginning. You know, another team, another project, trying to raise money, trying to issue a token. And within about 30 seconds, I clicked as to what these guys were doing. These guys are the smartest guys in the room. And they're solving a massive problem. So with me, I have got one of the founders of the protocol. How are you, my friend?
I'm really good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So do you remember the first call that we had?
Yeah, I do. I certainly do.
Tell the users or the viewers here what you told me in that call. What are you guys building? Why should they be so excited?
Yeah, sure. I think I'm a developer, just to give a brief introduction, right? I'm a developer first. So when I wanted to build something for the data, I didn't find any solution. So that's why we started building Unmarshal on our own. Unmarshal is a multi-chain DeFi data network. So we specifically work on DeFi space where we provide customized data. Like if you have any questions around the data stored in blockchain, we provide it and we index the blockchain. We store the data in generic format, and then we build a lot of business context modules out of it, such as token store, price store, APIs for balances, transactions, and tax module, etc. And we provide data in whatever the format clients want. So we wanted to use, we have a great respect for Graph. So we wanted to use Graph, but they're very good at generic level. But when you have to use some data provider, right? You have to provide a customizable solution so that you are asking your clients to code. You are not asking your clients to code. So that's the aim of Unmarshal. Our one-lane vision is if somebody wants to access blockchain data, maybe DeFi applications or normal people, Unmarshal should be able to help them irrespective of what data they want to access, which chain they want to access from, and what format, including a simple CSV file.
Exactly. So why am I so excited about this? Well, for me, I know that if we want to develop life-changing dApps working on the blockchain, we need to have indexed information, smart contract information that we can call on, because what happens in the backend, developers call on these things, on this data from other applications. And if it's not properly indexed, then it takes a long time to create these decentralized applications. And that's just one use case. Now, I asked you a question when we first spoke, and I said to you, why wouldn't I just use the graph? Because the graph does exactly that. And I'm looking at the graph now. The graph has a market cap of $2 billion. And you said to me, you were a developer and you try to use the graph, but the problem is it's too generic, and you need a niche application for DeFi, right?
Yes. So the problem with the graph when we started to use it, right? One, it's too generic and it sits very close to blockchain, and there's a huge gap between DeFi applications and the blockchain. So it's a huge bridge between them. So Unmarshal is exactly the right there to fill it completely. So we don't ask our clients to code. So we do all the indexing on our own, and we add like a lot more custom like supplementary data such as price feeds, such as like token information, etc., which which graph doesn't provide. And also we are able to answer customized questions like, hey, how many given a particular wallet address, what are the tokens he holds, and what is the worth of it. So these are the questions Unmarshal can help better than other competitors. And we serve the data in multiple formats. Like you want APIs, you want push notifications, you want WebSockets, you want analytic dashboards, or maybe simple CSV file as well.
Okay, now what confidence can you give the viewers that you guys can actually pull this off? Like, who are you guys? How can we trust that you guys can pull this off?
Yeah, sure. Unmarshal is a public team. So I have around 8 years of experience working in like major ride-hailing firms in Southeast Asia, including Gojek and Grab. I recently left my job at Grab, Singapore. And like most of my teammates also worked in companies like Swiggy, Gojek, and other companies. And that's one thing, but more than that, we are a product. I think like one of your guests was talking about, right? So we are not just promising the product in white paper. We are already have like live customers using our data in production. We have close to 12 people who are paying us money, including the Frontier and DPay and a lot more DeFi applications, major DeFi applications. And we are partnered with Elrond. We will be partnering with Algorand and Solana and like few more people, and we partnered with Matic. So they're all of them are backing us strongly, including grants and other stuff.
Wow. Okay. Now you guys are doing an IDO. I think the IDO is happening pretty soon. I know you guys announced it. When is the IDO happening? Who can participate? What platform is it happening on? Talk us through that.
Yeah, sure. Unmarshal is doing IDO on 30th March, which is just 5 days from now. We are doing IDO on Polka Starter. We just actually announced our whitelisting process a few days ago. I think like it's still open for next 1 day. You guys can go and participate in. All the details are in Unmarshal blog.
That's why I wanted to get you guys on the show. Now, for me, guys, you know, these guys, I couldn't really get a decent allocation for myself. I tried. I begged the guys. They said, look, we're sold out. So what I did was I actually got you guys. I got the Banter community an allocation. I mean, I think that's the incredible part. So in the Banter bags, we have $1,000 of Unmarshal at private sale rates. And that's in the Banter bags. Now, you ask me, this is doing 100x minimum, which means that in the Banter bags, we're going to have $100,000. And all you need to do to win the Banter bags is just like, subscribe, share. Every time you do that, if you're a subscriber, then you get an entry. And these guys were kind enough to donate or to allow us to buy $1,000 worth of Unmarshal. So thank you so much, my friend. That is a great service you've done for the community.
Yeah, thank you. I think like what Unmarshal, we strongly believe that Web3 should be built as a community backed process. So we love what you are doing, and like we wanted to support in whatever way we can.
All right, so we're going to keep an eye open for your IDO. We're going to keep an eye open for your progress. I always say this to the projects that I like, and I really mean it. This is your home. So if you have announcements, if you want to talk to the community, if you need a platform, for as long as you keep delivering, this is your home. Crypto Banter is your home, my friend.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying this, and we certainly be happier to part of this community.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, my friend. Wow. 100x. Mark my words. 100x. Let's wait for the 30th. I'm not saying anything yet. In fact, I just did say it. But it's going to be, Fred says it's going to be 500x. Maybe, could be. I say 100. Guys, tomorrow, we're going to bring you another chart of the day. We don't know when it's going to happen because it's all in Sheldon's hands. When, like crypto sniper, when that crypto sniper gets the shot, that's when he takes it. So we don't know when it's going to come. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, smash the bell button. His calls are unbelievable. Crypto sniper doesn't miss a shot. Simple as that. That's it. I think that's all we have time for today. All right. See you guys all tomorrow. Same time, same place, 10 a.m. EST. Until then, if you're trading, trade well, my friends.
Crypto Banter is a social podcast for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers should not be construed as financial advice. Views expressed by guests and hosts do not reflect the views of the